Hi all, I have another interesting game. This is provided by Thomas Kaz as part of a match against Laser 1.6. This is Leela ID 503. So Laser was on a 4-core machine. The time control was more leisurely 2 moves every 6 minutes, I believe. Let's have a look. C4 from Leela. We have E5, so we have the English opening. Leela gravitating towards the English opening sometimes. We have G3 here, knight F6, bishop G2, bishop B4, knight D5. Black castles. You might be wondering if knight takes D5. This should be okay for white. White can actually play the move knight F3 here, for example. And even if black plays E4, this position is slightly favourable for white. So black castled here, and we have A3, and then B4, which gives that fianchettoed square for the bishop at some point. Rook B1, D6. Now we have knight F3. This bishop goes back, and Leela grabs that dark square bishop. So she has a nice bishop here without a counterpart, which could be a very important weapon. Rook E1, rook E8. White castles, bishop D7. Knight E1. Now the move E4, which seems a little bit anti-intuitive, because this is surely opening up a road to black's king potentially. D takes, knight takes E4, or rather a diagonal road, with this lovely bishop on the diagonal. Already this position seems an English player's dream position, because the knight can actually potentially reroute to F4 here. Queen C8, knight D3. It's very, very comfortable looking. H6, knight F4. This grip on D5 is very nice. The two fianchettoed bishops look very nice and working well together. But Laser has some tactical ideas. Knight G5, potentially using the H3 square. Rook C1, knight H3 check. Is Leela worried here? King H1, not worried about the double pawn potential, because look, there's a G file here. Which engine understands that better? Bishop G4, F3. Now, Laser took on F4. Is this naughty? G takes F4. Is there a road to black's king? Bishop D7. E4. Rook E7. B5, pushing on both sides of the board. Knight A5. F5, both sides of the board. A symphony. F6. F4. Preparing maybe E5 now. Look at these bishops stretching out, potentially, given scope. Queen F8, Queen D3. King H8. A4. Does the calm A4, stabilizing further on the queen side. Rook F7. Rook C2, with the possibility maybe of using the G file later. Rook D8. Bishop F3, making use potentially of G2 now. Bishop E8. Now here, at this point, there is a potential theoretical weakness of the last move, isn't there? Because the queen is not protecting the rook. But hold on. E5 is not possible, is it? What about the F5 pawn? Guess what Leela plays? If I give you 5 seconds. Yep, she plays it anyway. Yep. She sacks a pawn here after takes, undoubles the pawns anyway. But in this position, this is ripe for E6 now. Very dangerous pawn here. And look at these lovely bishops. Lovely scope of the bishops. Look at this knight on the rim. Black's pieces seem a bit awkward. Bishop G6. Although up to tactical no good here with discovery attacks against the queen. But we have Rook G2 nevertheless. Ignoring any potential threats with the discovery attack, which black employs now with Rook G5. White to play. What would you play? I'll give you 5 seconds to pause the video here. Okay. Boom. Queen takes G6. Look at this position. It's gorgeous. Here, after Rook takes G6, we've got concrete threats here. We've got this lovely bishop here. This lovely dark square bishop in particular. But even the light square bishop. We've got potential ideas like E7, taking on H6, exploiting that pin pawn, and Bishop D5. These are really crushing. Just to show you, let's say black played this move. This didn't happen. Rook takes H6 check, exploiting the pin pawn. king g8, e7, and look, both bishops are working really well together here. After takes, bishop d5 check. It's crushing, absolutely crushing. This would lead to a nice checkmate, this continuation, in fact, which Desmatanov would be proud of. So this is a really dangerous position for black. Black tries d5. We have Leela, a great position, perhaps not the most clinical move, according to a lot of engines, was played. Bishop takes g7, but it's good enough. It's a very strong move in its own right. Maybe bishop g2 is also very strong, because it seems black might have to consider giving up the queen. It's hopeless here. So this is already a totally winning position, basically. But this is a very strong move. So the queen takes, rook takes, because here this dangerous passed pawn is enough. Can you see what Leela plays to exploit the dangerous passed pawn in this position? 5 seconds. The lovely bishop h5, it not only cuts the king, it herds the pawn. e7 and e8, supported by the bishop. The knight's not in time to do anything here. We have rook f8. Is that sufficient to defend the situation? Rook e1, no. Renewing the threat of e7. Rook c8, and the e-pawn's just crashing through. White Leela took time to take on d5 though, and then played e7. The e-pawn's just crashed through, winning material, winning the game. So that was basically it. It's a totally winning position. Adjudicated here as a win for white, bishop up. So I thought that was a nice positional game with the double fianchettoed bishops. Laser in this game seemed a bit oblivious to opening the diagonal, but even worse was this, going for structural damage but giving white that g-file. Dynamic things are bound to happen when there's such great piece activity and coordination. So that queen sack wasn't really a queen sack, it was two big pieces for the queen with a raging attack. The f5 pawn sack was really nice though, to break through with e5 thematically when that disconnection of the rook and queen happened. So all in all, quite an instructive game, I thought. I hope you enjoyed it too. Comments, questions, likes, shares appreciated. Thanks very much.